Seamus Heaney's poem, St. Kevin and the Blackbird, is my favorite poem because it sent me on a journey which changed my understanding of how humans perceive reality. A few years ago, I decided to Google my name just to see what came up. Wikipedia was the top result, and that's where I discovered the story of St. Kevin of Glendalough. St. Kevin moved into the wilderness and became a hermit to immerse himself in nature, just like I like to do. He slept and meditated in this cave. It's only 3 feet high, 4 feet wide, and 7 feet deep. It's now known as Kevin's Bed. The bottom of that Wikipedia page mentioned Heaney's poem. The poem tells a story of St. Kevin kneeling in his cave with his hand held out, his palm facing up, so still in his meditation that a bird landed on his hand and began to build a nest. He didn't want to disturb the natural order of things, so he remained still while the bird laid its eggs. The eggs hatched, and the baby birds flew out on their own. While reading through Heaney's poem, one specific line jumped out at me. And since the whole thing's imagined anyhow, imagine being Kevin. From that moment on, imagine being Kevin has been my personal slogan. It's my way of saying to myself, fake it until you make it. A reminder that Kevin can be whatever I imagine myself to be. But the first part of that line resonated with me as well. Since the whole thing's imagined. What did that mean, the whole thing is imagined? Does he mean reality is imagined? That question led me into a deep dive through internet research, Wikipedia, YouTube, TED Talks, articles, just trying to find out what all the experts thought about the nature of our reality and if the whole thing is just imagined. Turns out it might be. Psychologists and neuroscientists have discovered that our brains are constantly constructing stories about what we see, what we hear, and what emotions we feel, based off of previous input. We construct our mental experiences, the what and the why of our everyday reality, and we turn our bodily reactions into imaginary stories of our emotions. This means that you can construct any emotion you want in any given situation. Overall, Heaney's poem left me with a calm, pleasant feeling that I imagine to be my concepts of acceptance and inspiration, and ultimately it changed how I relate to myself. I read this poem often as a reminder for me that I can imagine whatever experience I want to have, and since the whole thing is imagined anyhow, I'll imagine being Kevin. Who will you imagine yourself to be?